The rain drizzled softly against the cafe's windows, blurring the neon signs from across the street. Inside, the warm hum of conversation and the clinking of coffee cups created a cozy, familiar rhythm. It was just another day at Muse's Cafe, a small cafe tucked away in the heart of town. The usual customers were there, businessmen hunched over laptops, elderly couples sipping tea, and teenagers scrolling through their phones. No one paid attention to the man in the corner. He sat there every day, wearing the same worn-out brown coat, the same ripped jeans, and the same tattered beanie pulled low over his forehead. His deep-set blue eyes, though tired, held a quiet intelligence. His scruffy gray beard gave him the look of a man who had seen too much of life. He sat alone, always at the same table, with a single cup of coffee that he stretched out for hours. His name was James, but no one ever asked. To them, he was just another homeless man, blending into the background like an old piece of furniture. No one noticed him, no one cared. Except for Emily. Emily was in her mid-20s, a young woman burdened by life's hardships. She had been working double shifts for months, barely making enough to cover her sick mother's medical bills. She never complained, but the exhaustion in her hazel eyes was impossible to hide. Yet, despite her struggles, she never let them harden her heart. She saw James, really saw him. Every day, when her shift was about to end, she would quietly refill his coffee for free before he could even ask.
"Here you go,"
she said with a gentle smile, setting a steaming cup down in front of him. James looked up, surprised, his weathered hands wrapped around the warm mug.
You don't have to do that,
He said softly.
"I know,
She replied.
but I want to."
James studied her for a long moment before giving her a small, grateful nod. Emily didn't just see a homeless man. She saw a person. Over time, Emily's small acts of kindness became routine. She would ask him how his day was when no one else did. She would bring him a piece of bread or a small pastry when she could afford it. One particularly cold day, she noticed James shivering in his seat. Without a word, she walked to the back of the cafe, pulled out an old dark blue sweater from her bag, and brought it to him.
"It's clean.
She said, placing it in front of him.
It's not much, but it's warm."
James stared at it, his fingers grazing the soft fabric. For a moment, his eyes glistened, and he swallowed hard.
Why are you doing this?
He asked, his voice quieter than usual. Emily just shrugged.
"Because someone should."
James didn't answer right away. Instead, he carefully picked up the sweater, as if it were something precious.
Thank you, Emily.
He said, for the first time calling her by name. She only smiled before walking away to tend to another table. But one day, James didn't come. Emily noticed immediately. His usual seat in the corner remained empty. At first, she thought maybe he was late, but then a day passed, then another, a week. The cafe felt different without him, colder. She found herself glancing toward the door every time it chimed open, hoping to see his tattered coat and tired eyes, but he never came. A feeling of unease settled in her chest. Had something happened to him? Had he fallen sick? Or worse, had he frozen to death out there, alone? She asked around, but no one knew where he had gone. No one cared, except for her. And then, one day, 2 weeks later, her boss, Mr. Walker, walked into the cafe holding an envelope.
"Emily,
He called out, his voice slightly unsteady.
this is for you."
Emily frowned, wiping her hands on her apron as she took the envelope.
"For me?"
She asked, confused. Mr. Walker nodded.
"It was dropped off earlier. The man said it was important."
With shaking hands, she opened it. Inside was a handwritten letter. and a check for $500,000. Her breath hitched, her vision blurred as she read the letter.
Dear Emily, you never knew who I really was. You never asked for anything in return. But in a world that ignores, you chose kindness. In a world that judges, you chose to see me as a human being. My name is James Carter. You may not recognize it, but I am the CEO of Carter Industries. I was never homeless. This was an experiment to see if true kindness still exists, to see if people only help when there's something to gain. You passed a test you didn't even know you were taking, and for that, I want to change your life, just as you changed mine. Use this money to help your mother, follow your dreams, and never stop believing in kindness. The world needs more people like you. With gratitude, James Carter.
Emily's hands trembled as tears streamed down her face. The man everyone ignored, the man everyone pitied, had just changed her life forever. The cafe was never the same after that. The customers who had once ignored James started talking about kindness. The town's homeless shelters saw an increase in donations. And Emily? She used the money to pay for her mother's medical treatment. And in honor of James, she opened her own cafe, Emily's Cafe, a place for everyone. Above the counter, a framed letter hung on the wall. And in the corner, James's seat remained empty, not out of absence, but in memory of kindness. In a world full of indifference, be someone's hope. You never know when a small act of kindness will change a life forever.